One of the oldest and most painful questions humanity has ever asked is this: why do good people suffer? If someone is kind, honest, compassionate, and faithful, why does life sometimes seem hardest on them? Why do they face betrayal, loss, rejection, financial struggle, heartbreak, illness, or loneliness, while others who act unfairly appear to prosper? This question is not new. It echoes through history, philosophy, and spirituality. In the Bible, the story of Book of Job wrestles deeply with this mystery. In the Indian epic Mahabharata, the righteous Pandavas endure exile and humiliation despite their virtue. Even great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi faced imprisonment and hardship while standing for truth. And in modern times, figures like Nelson Mandela spent decades in prison before becoming symbols of freedom. Suffering does not discriminate, but it often seems to test the good more deeply. Yet here is the deeper truth. Good people may suffer, but they rarely stay down. They rise, and when they rise stronger, wiser, and more powerful than before. Let us explore why. First, good people feel more deeply. They care, they empathize, they love sincerely, and because they love deeply, they hurt deeply. When they are betrayed, they do not simply feel anger, they feel heartbreak. When they fail, they do not blame others, they reflect on themselves. When they lose someone, they do not move on easily, they grieve sincerely. Their pain is not weakness, it is the cost of having a pure heart. The world can be harsh. A soft heart in a hard world often experiences more wounds. But that same softness is also their greatest strength. It allows them to build real relationships, inspire others, and create lasting change. Suffering refines character. Gold is purified by fire. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Likewise, strong character is often shaped by hardship. When life is easy, character is comfortable. But when life is difficult, character is tested. Good people are often refined, not destroyed, by suffering. Hardship teaches patience, resilience, humility, wisdom, emotional strength, faith. The trials that break some people build others. Suffering strips away ego. It removes illusions. It forces clarity. It teaches what truly matters. Many people who eventually become leaders, healers, teachers, or inspirations often carry stories of deep personal pain. Their suffering becomes their qualification. Growth requires discomfort. Every transformation begins with discomfort. A seed must be buried in darkness before it can grow. Muscles must be torn slightly to grow stronger. Butterflies struggle inside cocoons before they can fly. Growth feels uncomfortable because it stretches us beyond our current limits. Good people often suffer because they are being prepared for something greater. Their vision, influence, or destiny may require strength they do not yet have, and hardship is the training ground. Without storms, roots do not grow deep. Kindness attracts tests. Good people often give chances. They forgive. They trust. They help others even when they should protect themselves. Unfortunately, not everyone values kindness. Some people take advantage of good hearts. They see patience as weakness. They see generosity as opportunity. This is one reason good people sometimes suffer, not because they are foolish, but because they believe in goodness. However, every betrayal teaches discernment. Every disappointment teaches boundaries. Every heartbreak teaches self-respect. Good people may be hurt, but they learn. And when they rise again, they rise wiser. Suffering builds emotional depth. Pain changes perspective. Someone who has experienced loss understands others' grief. Someone who has struggled financially understands humility. Someone who has faced rejection understands loneliness. Suffering builds compassion. Many of the most empathetic and inspiring individuals were once broken. Their wounds become bridges connecting them to others. Good people often rise, not only for themselves, but to lift others. The law of inner strength. There is a universal pattern. Those who endure hardship with integrity develop unshakable strength. Temporary pain often produces permanent growth. When a good person survives betrayal, they become emotionally independent. When they survive financial struggle, they become resourceful. When they survive loneliness, they become self-aware. When they survive failure, they become fearless. Suffering removes fear. After someone has faced their lowest point and survived, they realize, if I survive that, I can survive anything. That realization changes everything. Darkness reveals light. Light is most visible in darkness. The world often remembers those who remained good in bad circumstances. Anyone can be kind when life is easy, but staying kind in hardship reveals true character. Good people may be tested because their light is meant to shine in dark places. When others lose hope, they become hope. When others respond with hate, they respond with grace. When others collapse, they stand. And that is why they eventually rise, because the world needs their example. 8. Suffering breaks pride, not purpose. Hardship humbles. It reminds us that we are not in total control. But while suffering may break pride, it does not break purpose. Many people discover their calling during painful seasons. A failed career may reveal a hidden passion. A broken relationship may reveal self-worth. A personal crisis may awaken spiritual growth. Good people often rise because suffering forces alignment with their true purpose. 9. Time reveals justice. Sometimes life seems unfair in the short term, but over time, character matters. Those who act dishonestly may rise quickly, but they often fall suddenly. Those who build with integrity may grow slowly, but their foundation lasts. Good people may suffer temporarily, but their strength compounds over time. Integrity builds trust. Trust builds influence. Influence builds impact. Eventually, goodness rises, not always loudly, but steadily. Rising is a choice. Perhaps the most powerful truth is this: good people rise because they choose to. Suffering can make someone bitter or better. It can close the heart or deepen it. It can destroy hope or refine faith. Good people feel pain, but they do not allow pain to define them. They cry, but they do not quit. They fall, but they stand again. They lose, but they learn. They hurt, but they heal. Their strength is not that they avoid suffering. Their strength is that they grow through it. The pattern of the phoenix. There is a powerful symbol found in many cultures. The phoenix, a bird that rises from its own ashes. Though mythical, the symbolism is profound. Destruction is not the end. It can be the beginning of renewal. Good people often experience seasons where everything seems to burn. Relationships, careers, dreams, plans. But from those ashes, a stronger version of them emerges. What looks like loss becomes preparation. Hidden blessings in disguise. Sometimes what feels like suffering is protection. A rejection may prevent a bigger failure. A delay may prevent a disaster. A closed door may redirect to a better path. In hindsight, many people realize that their worst moments led to their best outcomes. Good people rise because they trust that their suffering has meaning, even when they cannot yet see it. The inner victory. The greatest rise is not external success. It is inner peace. A good person who has suffered and still chooses kindness has already won. They may not always become famous. They may not always become wealthy. But they become strong, grounded, and spiritually mature. They rise internally first, and that inner rise eventually reflects externally. Why they always rise. Good people rise because they have resilient hearts. They learn instead of blaming. They grow instead of quitting. They forgive instead of becoming bitter. They adapt instead of collapsing. They believe in purpose. They trust that pain is temporary, but character is permanent. Their goodness is not naive, it becomes powerful. Final message. If you are a good person who is suffering right now, remember this. Your pain is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that you are human. Your struggles are not punishment. They are preparation. Your tears are not defeat. They are cleansing. And your story is not over. Every storm runs out of rain. Every night turns into morning. Every wound eventually heals. Good people may suffer, but they rise. Not because life is easy, not because the world is fair, but because their spirit is stronger than their circumstances. And when they rise, they do not rise alone. They become light for others still walking through darkness. So if you are in pain today, hold on. Growth is happening. Strength is forming. Wisdom is developing. So, your rise is coming.